All right, buddy. Next one I got for us is okay. I'm not going to shout this, but it's all in caps. Atheism dismantled in 1 minute. The Quran response, and like, don't get after me for mispronouncing stuff because I am a filthy American and I only speak English very poorly. But yeah, we're going to be doing. Looks like maybe some street interview or something like that. I think there's two individuals, so we've got a theist talking with an atheist, and hit play when you feel like it, and we'll see how this goes.
All right, I just want to interject that.
No, that's not allowed.
And I had this conversation with two friends of mine who are Muslim, and I made the comment that atheism will never be taken seriously until we get nice hats. Because every religion has their own special hat.
Hashtag facts.
They didn't think it was as funny as I thought it was. I thought it was hilarious.
I don't know. We'll have to think of something.
Hats. Everyone's got a hat. We need a hat. I want a hat.
I'll send you a hat, brother. All right, hit.
You believe there is no God. Okay. So where do you think we came from?
Hard atheist. Okay.
Gotcha. Where did you get that from?
Oh, from science. From Big Bang Theory.
So Big Bang Theory is something you can prove like in a clinical trial?
No.
Cannot, right?
That's what,
Let's say your camera right here,
okay,
right?
My camera.
Let's say I told you, you know what, Canon didn't make that camera. Over billions of years, space particles came together and made this camera. With that lens, with all the functions, with battery charging, would you believe me?
Yeah, no.
Oh, no, actually, technically, that's right. Canon just made it in the shape of a camera.
But not, right? Why not? Because it's complex, right? It takes design. Now, what's more complex?
This guy has not thought about this.
Right?
Yeah, the dude in the red hat hasn't thought about this.
They are, right? Yeah. You recharge. You don't even need to be plugged into the wall. You go to sleep. You recharge. So if you believe this couldn't come without intelligent design, then how could this come without intelligent?
أم خلقوا من غير شيء أم هم الخالقون أم خلقوا السماوات.
All right.
Well, the only thing I'm blown away by is the stupidity of the argument. But okay.
Is this like the watchmaker, the helicopter? And
it's an ID. Yeah, it's an intelligent design argument. Cameras don't reproduce. Biological organisms do. This is a really bad analogy, and people need to like stop making this analogy. Just stop. But yeah, the guy literally, like, in fact, here, I'll wind it back and see if I can find exactly where he did it. So evidently he's a hard atheist, so he goes further than I do and makes the positive assertion that there are no gods. And then what is it? Space dust. By space dust, I'm assuming he means the basic building blocks of literally all material in the universe. And not literally, yeah. So I'm assuming that's what he means. And so his question right here, you could prove this. Yes, we already have. It's already been demonstrated.
Yeah. We know all of the atomic structures that make up our bodies, and we know the origin of each one of those atoms. Yeah.
Yeah. So when he answers no to this question, he's already wrong. So yeah, we've already demonstrated this. So end of argument. But yeah, and then he's like, what is it? Let's say your camera right here. Canon didn't make that. I don't care.
He said, what if I claim Canon didn't make that? Well, you'd be wrong because the name is literally
wrong. Over billions of years, space particles came together and like made the lens and the battery and stuff like that. And the answer is obviously no. Because it was manufactured, and we have evidence that it was manufactured. In fact, all of the evidence we have points to it being manufactured by humans, and literally zero of the evidence we have points to it being naturally occurring.
I walked through the forest and I found trees, rocks, and cameras.
Yeah.
It's all naturally occurring.
I went out picking fruit and came back with a Nikon.
Exactly.
But like, even when he pointed out, like, you don't have to recharge. Well, yeah, I do. I have to take in nutrients to replenish the fuel that my body burns for energy. to continue life. So yeah, I do need to recharge by putting things into my mouth hole.
And then we excrement out the bits we don't
Well,
use.
yeah, we
Cameras
have a-
don't do that. I've never seen a camera feeding
Poop.
on something and then pooping it.
Well, I
back
guess
out.
if you really want to go, if you want to push the analogy as far as you can, the excrement would be the battery after the chemical interaction is no longer possible to be used to recharge it. So it is literally the waste product after having been recharged for hundreds of thousands of times.
Yeah, you probably could.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna, because we're already stretching a mechanical device which we already know was designed and manufactured and comparing it to biological life. So like the analogy already falls apart at the face of it. But if we're going to force the analogy, then might as well force all of it.
And there's something I noticed is that in this particular case and other cases where there are probably a lot of videos of these gotcha moments, it's when someone can't intelligently respond to your point, that means you're right.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah. Well, it's just like,
because someone
yeah.
doesn't know the answer doesn't mean you're correct in your position.
Did you want to, anything else on
Now,
these two gentlemen?
I think
Like,
we
I kind
answered
of,
for him, and it was justifiably.
I appreciate this guy's in the red hat. I appreciated his attempt, but I don't think he's thought that answer through, because when he was challenged on whether or not we could prove it in a clinical trial, the answer is yes. It's the opposite of the answer that he gave, and we've done it like so many times that nobody does it anymore because it's just a hashtag facts.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. On to the next one. And on our first video here, I'm going to keep it muted just because I'm worried his sound is copyrighted and I don't want to have to deal with copyright strikes. But luckily, he doesn't talk. He just puts stuff up on the screen and kind of wiggles. A wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. You ready?
That's evidence for God if I ever saw it.
Oh, I know, right? That's right. All right, here we go. Yeah.
All right, so universe is a cause. Interesting. Universe is fine-tuned for life. No, it's not. Jesus resurrected from the dead. Okay, that's not evidence. He just said three things.
Yeah.
Okay, the first thing, universe has a cause. Okay,
Maybe.
whether or not that's true doesn't come into play. So yeah, even if it has a cause, that has nothing to do with.
Actually, here we go.
Jesus.
I'm going to fix that. Go ahead and manipulate the pause, the play as you wish.
Evidence for God that atheists can't debunk. Okay, that isn't evidence for God. That it may or may not have had a cause.
Sure.
The universe is fine-tuned for life. No, it isn't.
It seems to be extraordinarily not fine-tuned.
You do anything. If you climb up too high on a mountain, you'll die. If you don't eat, you'll die. If you don't drink, you'll die. If you swim in the water and try to breathe in, you'll die. If you fly into space, you'll die. You go to any other planet that doesn't have the exact same molecular structure in the atmosphere, you die. Literally everything. There's snakes that will kill you. There's scorpions that will kill you. There are lions and tigers.
Lions, oh my.
Exactly fine-tuned for it to continue.
That whole fine-tuning thing, it's amazing to me. Because like either the argument is that life is so prolific that you everywhere you look there's life, which is not true, or that like sometimes it's the claim that if anything were different in the cosmological constants or the laws of nature, then life could not exist, which is not demonstrable at all. And in fact, if I remember correctly, they've even demonstrated that if there were minor alterations to some of the constants, the current forms of life could still exist. But even if the current forms of life couldn't exist, that doesn't rule out a different form of life. So it might look very different. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Got anything else for this one? Oh, and his third point.
Yeah,
there you go.
Try to make it. Jesus resurrected from the dead. Okay, saying he resurrected from the dead isn't evidence he resurrected from the. I could say I resurrected from the dead. That doesn't make it. That's not evidence I did that.
But PJ, but Bible though.
Yep. Okay, so it was someone wrote down that he was. I'll write down that I resurrected from the dead, and I'll hand it to you. Somehow, this is more evidence than No, it's
Yeah.
not. No one resurrects from the dead.
Yeah, no.
It's not a thing.
He's silly. I love this. I love the way he looks. He's a very good-looking gentleman. But
And he's poignant in his position. He's confident in his position, and the fact that he's added modern music to making his points.
It's got a decent audio track.
If you wrap this all together, it's evidence for God that you, as someone who doesn't accept it, cannot debunk. It's literally impossible, except for all of the debunking we did.
Except for literally all the evidence available. Yeah. All right, cool.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we're gonna head on to the next one here in just a minute.